They communicated the imminent attack of another ship with a faster beating. As history moved on, the British incorporated bells and whistles to that. You just heard a whistle a moment ago. There are, I believe, 14 different calls that can be signaled out by whistle like that. The reason that these things were put in place was in battle, when sailors are frantic in their means to save their ship and save their shipmates, they can't hear verbal commands, but they hear sounds. They hear drums, they hear whistles. That has evolved and evolved in the mid-17th century with the British using the pipe, which is what I blew earlier, this device, to pipe senior officers aboard ship. When a captain would arrive aboard ship, he would be piped with a number of, with a bell. And the number of rings of the bell indicated the number of side boys that he had with him that would be taking care of his luggage, his purchases, or whatever he might be bringing aboard. So sometimes it was a single bell that was rung. Sometimes it was 6 or 7 or 8 bells. That evolved farther to the last day that an enlisted man is aboard the ship. The bell is rung as he leaves, and his name is called, and he's piped off. That's the tradition. That's the tradition that we're about to follow with. We are going to pipe off all of those people that have passed since our last reunion. You ready?
Ready when you're ready, sir.
Russell Christensen, Frank Bianchini, Jim Hansen, Gary Frazier, James Robert Mitchell, Charles Vernon Woods, Robert Kelly, Ralph Shillman, Leonard Felsenberg, Robert A. Todd, Peter Hendrickson, Edmund Cates, Harold Day, Leonard Hamilton, Dan G. Bander, Edward Moore, Robert Shoemaker, Raymond Charles Tennyson, Larry Belser, Peter Allen, the beloved vice president of this organization, Tom James, our recent pastor, Luther Cutright, Larry Erickson, Wayne Hilton, James B. Hansen, Robert Ferguson, Donald Falk, Patrick Manning, Walter Beater, John A. Delaney, Rita Whitman, John Brooks, Howard Hamilton, Wesley Connery, Larry Olson, Atwood Dixon, R.C. Wiggins, Manning Adderton, and this week, Jimmy Taylor. That's the complete list. I hope if many of them were your shipmates and you knew them well enough to have been able to say goodbye this way. While I'm up here, I'd like to recognize a few people. I'm sure you're all aware we had a bit of a challenge to pull the event off today, but we're here, we've done well. But I'd like to recognize Stephanie Carmendale and her husband Ed for all the work they do. Twice these people have put together a complete package for us in New Orleans. And twice the weather and COVID-19 has conspired to close the city down. And as most of you now know, we're going to go there next year, provided, of course, that the city will welcome us after what we've done to them. I'd also like to recognize Ken Schroyer, who pitched in and was a tremendous help. Where are you, Ken? Jerry, thank you so much. There's, you know, this has been a challenge for me. It's an emotional situation for me, but you've come through and you've taken over whenever I've had a failing. And last, I'd like to recognize Melanie McLaughlin, who is here. She is our, I guess, assistant webmaster, or maybe you're the master webmaster and we just don't know it. But she's the reason that we have the website that we do, and I'm going to work very hard once I leave here to see that that website gets moved into the Library of Congress and becomes something of a permanent legacy that represents all of the efforts and the accomplishments that the ship has done and that you men have done. Okay, with that, if anybody has anything else they'd like to say, now might be your opportunity, but I guess let's start with the front table up here, going through the buffet.